It means a lot. It's definitely, I think, I got no words. I mean, I love this team, love the people around me. And, just really just a blessing, kind of a feeling I really hasn't hit me yet, to be honest with you.
As a captain, what point do you want to make? I mean, where do you want to lead this team, so to speak? What do you have in mind, from the standpoint?
Man, we just want to be tough, to be honest with you. I mean, we know we got athletes, we know we got skill. But I mean, I think toughness, like Coach Dave's talked about, that's a learned trait. I think it will really come along in that aspect. I mean, we're trying to come out there and be fast, physical, and be as talented as we are, but we're trying to go out there, we're trying to get after people, so we're trying to get tough and just win ball games.
Did you want to be a captain? Was that like a goal of yours?
Oh, yeah. I think growing up in Ohio and just looking at everybody, looking at the captains came before me and just the people that you look up to. I mean, I really always look back at Jonathan Cooper. I mean, like when I was a freshman coming in here, I was like, damn, I just tried to model everything after. He had no clue. I mean, I didn't really talk a whole lot, but I would just look at that dude and be like, I need to be like that guy. Like, watch what he does, watch how he handles things, watch how he talks to the team, and that's just what I've tried to do. And a lot of times I find myself looking like in the situation, like, what would Coop do in this situation?
So, like, when did you start to apply that to your own?
I soon I really got comfortable, like, with where I was playing, because it's kind of hard to lead when you don't really know what's going to come next or where you're going to play next. But once I got comfortable, I found a little bit of a route here for me and it felt good, and that's kind of when it really clicked.
So do you feel like this room is like your room now that you kind of settled in this position?
Yeah, I feel good. Yeah, I feel good. I feel good about where I'm at. I feel good about the people I got around me, and we're just happy to see where it goes.
When we were out at practice last week, looks like you made a couple nice plays. Deep receiver. Is that an area where you feel like you've made growth this year?
Right. Me and Keenan Bailey, like 3 or 4 nights a week, 5:15 after class in the summer. I mean, we come out here and we spend 45 minutes an hour every day just working top ends, route work and footwork and stuff. That's really, like I said earlier in the spring, I just something I've never done before. Keenan's, probably the best held secret in this whole entire place. I mean, that dude's got. I love talking to that dude. He helps me so much, and he's a very, very smart mind.
Hey, Cade, can you skip it?
Yeah.
Cade, when you talk about finding that route, that path for you, that position where you could get comfortable and become yourself, think back to maybe training camp a year ago. Like, how do you feel differently now than you did a year ago?
No, God, it's completely. I was just talking to my mom and dad. They come up to me for the family brunch thing yesterday, and it's. I mean, you talk about where you were a year ago, 2 years ago. I mean, sometimes you're sitting there, you're like, what am I doing? Why am I here? To be honest with you. And to the point where I feel right now, where I feel comfortable, I feel good, I feel confident about where I'm at. That's really the biggest part for me.
Was there a day this year where you stopped worrying that the next day you'd show up to practice and be like, go play linebacker?
No, that still comes every once in a while. I don't know if in the dream or not, but I'm never going to count it out. But I like playing where I'm at. I feel comfortable up to where I'm at. I feel like it's the best decision for me and this team. So overall, I think it was a good decision.
Coach Wilson was talking about the ability that you and Mitch have together. If it gets into these short yardage, red zone situations, to go block is that big package. What is it like working next to Mitch? What is it that you two bring to that spot that can? There's been a lot of talk about just getting those extra yards and short yardage for this offense. Like, why are you two able to do that?
Right. Mitch is tough. He's good. He's a good ball player. I mean, he's been around a while, so he's got a good IQ for the game and stuff. So I think just coming off the ball together, he's going to have a lot of velocity and a lot. Hopefully a lot of movement is what we got to do.
Coach Wilson. Go ahead.
What do you see with G and Joe?
They're good. I mean, they're good. They want to go hard. I mean, they want to be tough. Just like everybody's young at some point. And you just got. Only way you learn is if you keep rolling. So, they're progressing good.
For G specifically, have you seen him make that transition from being a receiver playing tight end to now being a real tight end?
Right. He's came a long way. He's put on the weight. He's worked hard in his blocking game and stuff like that. So he's really come a long way.
Coach Wilson
coming 3 or 4 times, I guess, from Keenan Bailey and kind of like working on some of the route running stuff. What does a workout like that entail? What are sort of the drills you're doing?
All kind of stuff. Working on your eyes, working on top ends of routes. Where you leverage at, where you got to attack, where you got to stick, where your landmarks are at, and stuff like that. Just stuff I've never really learned ever. To be honest with you, I've never played the spot. So, and Keenan coming from the receiver room, he knows. He's really with us in the tight end room a lot now, so it helps tremendously having him around.
Okay,
Coach Wilson was saying your strides are longer now in your route running. I guess before he felt maybe you were taking kind of a choppier footstep. You said those are longer now. Do you feel that way?
Right.
running routes?
I think overall just faster. I move better than what I used to. I feel more confident. So I guess I'd probably just I know when I'm doing a little bit better.
Coach Wilson said last year, well, not this, but earlier this year, when it came that time for you to make a decision on where you ended up wanting to play this year, you kind of had to make it for you, not necessarily for the team. I mean,
Right.
do you remember that come to your senses moment when you decided offense is where you wanted to be, tight end is where you wanted to be?
Yeah.
Explain why you made that final call.
That's a good question, to be honest with you. It just kind of, it had to do with conversations about, what's the end-term goal for me?
Yeah.
I don't know how many teams anymore want a 6'5", 260-pound middle linebacker anymore. I think 30 years ago, I would be playing middle linebacker, and it wouldn't be a question about it. But I think with today's game, the way things are, and the way our defensive line was, and playing the four-down defense, and having all those guys out there, and then having the experience over at tight end already, and looking at tight end numbers, combine numbers about where you stand and where you come out and stuff, and you came out.
Yeah.
It just made more sense to go there and play tight end, and really, I came back with a much clearer mindset than when I came over the first
Yeah. And a 6'5", 265 tight end is still a matchup problem
Right.
for defenses, right?
Right.
You looked that far ahead, right?
Right. You look about where you can excel. Where people are going to want you to play at, where your prototypical body's going to be at, what you can do. I think tight end was really the best suited for me.
Not to say you don't want to compete, because clearly, your demeanor says you want to compete. But did you at all look at that linebacker room in the spring and just the amount of guys in there in comparison to the amount of guys in the tight end room? Did that help make the decision at all?
No, never. Not really. Just even when I committed here, there was the linebacker room was stacked full of people. I think it's ever. Tommy and Steele, I live with those guys. Those are my two best friends. Like living my whole life here.
So they